What if you owned the perfect piece of hunting land? Big woods, food plots, bedding areas dialed in, cameras showing mature bucks. Everything you've ever wanted. Now here's the question. Would you let yourself hunt it? Not your friends, not strangers, not clients, you. Because the truth is, owning land doesn't automatically make you a better hunter. In fact, for a lot of people, it makes them worse. And the reason I even started thinking about this is because of how many people are chasing land ownership right now. Buying land, leasing land, managing land. Everyone wants their dream property, but almost nobody talks about what happens after you get it. Because owning land isn't just about opportunity. It's about pressure, it's about control, and more than anything, it's about a question most people don't even realize they're avoiding. Can you trust yourself not to ruin it? So let's start with what people imagine. You buy land, you picture quiet mornings, rut hunts, big deer going through the woods. You imagine doing everything right, wind, access, pressure, all of it. And in your head, it's simple. If I own land, I'd hunt it perfectly. No competition, no pressure from other hunters, no guessing, just you in control. But the moment that land actually becomes yours, things start to change because now it's not just an opportunity. It's something you feel like you should use. And that's where things quietly start to shift. And that shift leads to a better question. Not just can you hunt your land, but should you every time you want to. Because every time you step onto your property, you're changing it. Your scent, your movement, your noise. Even if you think you're being careful, you're still there. And when it's your land, there's no one holding you back. No one saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't go in there today. So naturally, you start making small decisions. You check cameras a little more often, you hunt winds that are close enough, and you sneak in just real quick. And over time, those small decisions add up. And this is the part people underestimate. Access is one of the most dangerous things in hunting, because just because you can, doesn't mean you should. And if you follow that idea a little further, it starts to affect more than just how you hunt. It starts to affect how you think. Owning land changes your mindset. It stops being, I get to hunt, and becomes, this is mine. And that subtle shift, it brings ego into the picture. You start thinking, I've put money into this. I've put work into this. I deserve to hunt it. And that word deserve is where things start to go wrong. Because hunting doesn't owe you anything. Not success, not encounters, not a big deer. But ownership makes it feel like it does. And without realizing it, that mindset leads to one of the most common mistakes people make. They hunt it too much. Early season, you're there. Pre-rut, you're there. Rut, every chance you can get. And again, it makes sense. You bought it for this, but animals don't care what you paid. They care about pressure, consistency, patterns. And if your property becomes predictable, they adjust. They leave, they go nocturnal, or they shift just enough that you never see them again. So now you've got this beautiful piece of land, and it's not producing the way you thought it would. And naturally you start asking, what am I doing wrong? But if you step back for a second, there's a better question to ask. What am I doing too much of? Because this is where hunting shifts. It becomes less about skill and more about discipline. The best landowners aren't the ones who hunt the most. They're the ones who hunt the least necessary. They treat their property like a resource. They pick their days, they wait for the right conditions. They don't go in just because they can. And that's hard, because when it's yours, it's always there, calling you every single day. And this is where it gets personal, because now it's not about strategy anymore. It's about honesty. If you owned your dream property, would you actually have the discipline to hold back? Or would you slowly chip away at it, one hunt at a time? And maybe the way to think about it isn't how often can I hunt this land, but instead, how little can I hunt it and still be successful? What if your goal wasn't access, but preservation? What if you treated your own land like a once-a-year opportunity? Because ironically, the less you push a property, the more it gives back. So back to the original question, would you let yourself hunt your own property? Not emotionally, not impulsively, but strategically, with being disciplined, being patient. Because owning land isn't the finish line, it's a responsibility. And the people who understand that, are the ones who actually get the most out of it. So I'm curious, and be honest with yourself when you answer this. If you had your dream property right now, would you hunt it the right way? Or would you love it to death? Let me know down in the comments. It's really hard to maintain and take care of land nowadays. And remember, however hunting fits into your life, carry it forward with respect, and I'll see you in the next one.